My whole
Yeah. Oops.
You made me laugh.
Yeah. Hey, this is.
Oh, you were recording?
Yeah, that's what I told you. Hey, it's the most chaotic intro ever. This is not the Batman. I guess it fits because this is kind of just a random one-off. We wanted to kind of break up the coverage of. Not that we're not disliking the comic coverage, but just to do something different, and also because we were kind of busy today, just to peek behind the camera, whatever, peek behind the curtain, whatever. You guys know what I mean.
A peek around the microphone?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. But anyway, today we're here to do something very different. I actually was listening to. Oh, by the way, this is Night of the Batman. I'm Alex.
I'm Amanda.
And we're both eating, or we're eating. I did give her a heads up. But anyway, it's great to be back. We missed last week. Different stuff going on. But anyway, we're here today to review Nightwing versus Redhood. Fun fact, I actually reviewed this during the first season of the original Night of the Batman. During, I had a 5 nights of the Bat, or it was something like that. Hold on, actually, let me look so I get that right. But, anyway, before I forget, also Nightwing vs. Red Hood is done by ISMAHAWK. He does a lot of, very acclaimed stuff. I kind of got inspired to cover some fan films from the Grund, which they started covering a bunch of old fan films, and I had covered this before, and it was one of the first ones. What was the original thing? It was called 5 Days of Night was what the original one is called on YouTube, if you guys want to go back and listen to that one. But anyway, was this your first Batman fan film you've ever seen?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think, because I don't think I've ever forced you to watch anything else, that's fan film, because it's, like I said earlier, it's very, niche.
You've made me watch, Spider-Man fan films, I think. Yeah, no, maybe.
No, I think I made you watch a trailer. I don't think I ever made you watch the movie.
Hunger Games stuff.
Yeah, I used to be so into fan films, because it was, it inspired me to, make stuff.
And I'm one of those people, I'm just it's okay. I
think it's cool if you take into consideration that now it's they get. I was telling you this before off mic, but now people are spending all this money and entering into like Sundance and stuff like that, or just different film festivals, these big budget fan films. And I'm kind of the opinion it's if you're gonna spend that much money on it, why not just make something original? Because that way, you know what I mean? You could actually sell it and sell actual physical copies of it. With the film at a film festival, if it's something that you didn't create, something you did create, but it's a copyrighted material, for me, it's if I'm going to spend that much money on it, you might as well just make it your own thing.
But it could be a passion project where you want to use those characters.
Yeah, that's true. But this was one of the first fan films I did review back in the day. It is very bare bones. It's just I described to you before, it's Nightwing and Red Hood fight in the parking garage, basically.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but it's basically, yeah.
And it's not even... can I be, mean for a second?
It was one of the first ones. He's gotten better since then. Yeah, you can go ahead. No one's stopping you.
The choreography is subpar. I feel if you're going to do something that is, very, static, camera shots... You need to either have interesting camera movement or interesting choreography.
You also, for me, you have to kind of, for me personally, you have to grade fan films kind of on a curve though too, because they're not professional. It's most of the time, like you said, a passion project, and sometimes it's just, as case in point with the Crusader series, it's just somebody that's really passionate and just wants to make something with no prior experience. So you have to always grade it kind of on a curve, not like you would grade a professional. Professionally made work.
Saying, I've seen fan-made TikToks with, better storylines.
This was just one of those things where it's it was to the point, and also it had Oracle in it. And I think that some of the effects in this were the reason to watch it. I mean, the suits were kind of cool looking too, but I know with Nightwing, I did see a thing where on the Grund, they kind of said this too, and I never even thought about it, but it's a good point. A lot of people, when they are designing stuff like this, with the Nightwing suit, they always want to armor him up. It's that's going to slow him down. He's in acrobat. Like, he wants to be, like, less, like, armor heavy. Stuff's gonna weigh him down.
I would argue, like, a light Kevlar would make sense, because he would then have protection as well as... Because right now, when you look at the suit, it's, like, spandex, which that's fine. Like you said, like, flexibility and stuff. But the armor is placed in, like, weird spots. And
It's also not professionally made.
I know, but, like... As somebody who does so, like, you know...
And I'm not trying to dismantle it, but also it was made...
It's not, like, it wasn't, like, god-awful to watch.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was saying it was made a long time ago.
I know. I was just, I felt like they could have done more, and, like, it could have been a budget thing or a time thing, but some of it was really cool. The dialogue felt really...
Bare bones.
God-awful?
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry,
I don't love this. I did when I was younger.
It was... Okay, and I'm not bashing, like, fan-made things, to be fair.
Sorry if you listen to this.
I read an ungodly amount of fan fiction. So, like, I appreciate that fans can take media that is not their own and take characters and settings and make something new out of it. I think that's so cool. What I am saying is I feel like if they put a little bit more time into making dialogue... I'm also not an action person. I think action sequences are boring.
I just showed it to you because it was Nightwing and something that could be, like, entry level.
I do, however, think that the guy playing Nightwing, like, he has a look. I would believe him as a Nightwing. So.
Yeah, and I like the wide eyes, too. Like, I thought that was a cool... Like as, like, a comic thing, like when I was younger, I liked that. I mean, now I'm like, I kind of prefer to see his eyes, but, like... can I make my point?
Yeah, I thought you were done.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, like, I like the wide eyes as something, like, 'cause I thought I'd never see that in live action. Now I'm like, I kind of get why Hollywood makes it to where you can see their eyes so they can emote more, but in this particular thing, you didn't really need to see them emote. Like, it was a very basic one. I was impressed by, like, a lot of the VFX, like, the VFX for the city. When it's lower quality, they look a lot more impressive, like that city shot did, but when you're watching it kind of in HD, it isn't super kind, but also you're looking at this and it does look low budget. I will say that when I was younger, I thought that Red Hood mask looked god-awful. It still looks god-awful. That's probably the worst part of this. It did
not bother me as much as the dialogue. Or the wig. Like, the wig that the girl playing,
I didn't even notice the wig.
And if it's her real hair,
Sorry if you listen to this.
But, no, my big complaint would be, like, the dialogue, and it just, it wasn't, like, satisfying.
You could barely hear it.
I also, like, I cannot picture Dick Grayson calling, and if he did in the comics and I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like, that's fine, but it's just, I can't imagine him, like, looking at Jason Todd and being like, rejected sidekick, or, something like that. Like, I don't know.
To be fair, in that scene, like, I was saying earlier, this is the villainous Red Hood, and also, to be fair, like, that guy had murdered a bunch of people, and I think in that moment, he was trying to set him off, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it was, like, a tactical, like, I don't think he was actually, like, mad. It seemed more of, like, a tactical thing to kind of set him off, so maybe he could, like, beat him. I think it's bullshit that, like, for a minute, Red Hood got the upper hand, because the thing with Red Hood is he is very, like ruled by his emotions, and, like, Dick Grayson has way more training and way more experience beyond just, like, what Bruce taught him, like, through, like...
He's an acrobat.
Bloodhaven, and, like, just being, the hero of Bloodhaven, like, he has his own thing. Like, it's crap that he would get the upper hand on him when, like, Jason Todd is much more of, like, a loose cannon kind of thing, where he has, like, this short temper, and, like, that's kind of his personality. And also, he didn't have as much training, because if you remember, he was basically, when he died, he was basically, like, a child. So, like, like, there wasn't as much training. He didn't, like, get to, like, he has some training, but it's not, like...
That's why he relies on guns.
Yeah, and that was the thing, like, with the knife thing, I think it's probably a cheap shot, but I just didn't like the fact that that it was such a simple thing as like him just getting stabbed, and like I'm glad he got the upper hand, but like it was just one of those things. I'm like, I didn't really like that.
I do like how they simplified the design on the suit. I think that's like it makes sense, and I feel like it's referencing like one of the suits.
Yeah, probably. Are you talking about Nightwing suit?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I like that. The thing, my critique, because I did mention it earlier, my main critique with the Red Hood mask, one, it's too big on the dude's head, like it's giant, and two, like the little slit. And I know they're working from a budget, but like the little slits are like tiny, and like the whole head is just like I'm just trying to picture a dude wearing that and being able to see, like realistically.
My complaint about the contacts is I cosplay, and I know cosplay contact lenses when I see them, and like I also know those white contact lenses, you can't see shit. Excuse me. So I know that it would be unrealistic for him to wear something like that into a situation where he would need to see and assess things.
Well, baby.
Yeah.
We saw his point of view, and it was like a tactical thing. Like you saw like the little readout and everything.
Yeah, but like I know what they are.
But
and
baby,
it just instantly took me out.
That's the reality of the. You're thinking of the reality of like real life versus the reality of the movie. It's like a readout thing. Like it's like they try to explain it as more of like, I get where you're coming from, and that is a good point. But like
because I feel like, and again, it's a fan film, so obviously they don't have a budget. If it had been like done by a studio with a budget, and they had done that, they would have probably like CGI'd it later.
Yeah, and let's be fair, like.
But knowing what I know, it's just like, what was it that I got caught up on when I was like, yeah, but when you choke somebody out, you don't cut off their airway.
It was in the Corey Val stuff, but what my point is like you said, this isn't made by Hollywood, and if it was, I would be a lot harsher with it, but like with this, it's like it is made by fans. You can tell they're passionate about it, and that's why I'm kind of a little bit kinder than I would be. And also there is that nostalgia element to it as well. As one of the first fan films. I think I remember even showing this to my buddy Chris back in the day. Be like, check this out. I used to show him a lot of fan films actually like that when YouTube was a lot different. And hold on, let me get my point out. And like there, it used to be a much more like Wild West of like, oh, like what are we going to see now? It's way more like content driven and much more of like a corporation than it used to be. There used to not even be ads on YouTube. I missed that, but yeah. Anyway, what were you going to say?
When do I get to see and react to the Crusader series?
Well, that's going to be like probably a 50th or 100th episode. We're going to do like a live like reaction to it or something. I already have a plan for it. But yeah, the audio, speaking of audio issues, just there's certain parts where you can't even hear what my character's saying. So and also it was done by high schoolers that had no experience at all. So if you think Terra Lake is bad, there are certain shots. I will say this. There are certain shots in kind of like in Terra Lake. There are certain shots and it's like, well, this is a good shot. Like I still can see like objectively there are certain parts where I'm like, that's a good shot.
Context: Terra Lake is a like kind of like Blair Witch Project-esque film that Alex made, where it was like supposed to be like found footage.
But yeah, you can check that out actually on the What Mean podcast. We did a commentary on it, and if you want to check out just the original one without I think there's a link on that video as well, but it's on YouTube, and if you want to just watch the original one without the commentary over it, it's just look up Alex Ramsey or Alexander 3062. I don't really, if you want to listen to the old Night of the Batman, they're also on YouTube under Alexander 3062. I have seasons 1 and 2. Keep in mind the audio is really bad. I was just learning back then. I was using a crappy MP3 player as my recording device. So yeah, like it's not great, but everybody's got to start somewhere.
Your sister's iPod?
It wasn't my sister's iPod.
That's what you used to film Terra Lake, right?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, anyway.
Okay, so.
Okay. Oh yeah, you had a point. My bad.
No, I was just talking about
you were
Crusaders. I was gonna say, I do expect me to be just as harsh on you as I am on them.
I don't care. Like I know it's not great. But yeah, anyway, yeah, this was fun. The audio at places was really hard to hear. That hasn't changed. Like, I remember years ago listening to it and having to like rewind and listen to it again just to hear what they were talking about. And basically, it's just they track down Red Hood to that location. It kind of ends where, like, they have the big fight scene, the whole reject thing you were talking about. Like, Oracle basically leads him over there, and then, like, he gets stabbed. He throws, like, the little his little shuriken things, and
Batarangs. Well, I guess they're not batarangs.
they're more like shurikens. That's what they looked like. But yeah, and then, like, I think the Red Hood, like he gets the upper hand, but the Red Hood, like, runs off kind of thing, and his mask is left behind. So maybe it's kind of implying that, like,
I thought it was implying he was blown up and died.
no. Did that happen? I don't think there was an explosion.
Yeah, he sends a little thingy, and he's like, "Oh, you missed," and then it like explodes.
Oh, so he just murders him? I kind of hate that then.
That's what I thought. I could be wrong.
Wait, I swear, no. I think he ran off. Anyway, sorry guys. Like, it was good. The fight scene's obviously the most memorable part, but yeah, I don't think there was an explosion. Hold on, we'll be right back. Hey guys, we're back. So, anyway, so he didn't die. Like you said, he threw the explosive, and then, like, all that's left behind is his Red Hood. I was about to be really pissed if he did die, because I'm like, then that would be a betrayal of the character, because he wouldn't just murder him, like, in cold blood. That would go against his whole thing. But he's like, hey, he's behind those murders, and then the only thing that's left behind is his, like, mask, implying the next time they meet, he's not going to have it, kind of thing.
Okay.
Which is kind of interesting. I don't know if that means anything, or if that was just, like, a cool ending shot of having the Red Hood and, like, the actual hood and the foreground, and having him in the background, like, walking away. Probably just a cool shot, set up for a cool shot, but yeah, he's like, oh, we haven't seen the last of him. But yeah, like, I mean, it's good. It's definitely one of those things, like, I could see why when I was younger I would be into this, because, you know, fight scene, cool looking suits. I hadn't seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was even possible to do, so it was definitely, like inspirational on that level, where it's like, wow, like, if they could do it, then, like, you know, like, I could figure out, like, in my head, I'm like, I could do something like this. Yeah. But yeah, it's like one of those things. That's what good fan films are. Like, they do stuff like that where you're like, oh, I can do this, even though sometimes you can't. I like parts of the Crusader series, but, like, there are certain things. I like the idea of it, and, like, certain parts of it, I still have a soft spot for it. And even one of my friends still liked the script more than the actual show, and I don't think he had the heart to tell me that back in the day, even though he was a part of it. No, Angel, he's been on the show. Like, he never said that himself, but I know he was also the question mark killer in there, which was like a predecessor to Riddler. But yeah, anyway, did you have anything else, or was that about it on your end? There wasn't really much here. Like, it was cool.
It's a 5-minute movie.
How's it for your first fan film that you've watched?
It wasn't my first fan film that I've watched.
What was the first fan film you watched?
That Hunger Games thing you used to make me watch.
I didn't make you watch it. We watched it one time after watching the actual professional. No, we watched it one time.
You have made me watch that multiple times, I swear.
The cave scene is good, okay? The other one is, like, didn't age great, but the cave scene's fine.
I feel like I just don't appreciate fan films the way you do, and I would prefer to read fan fiction.
I can't get through most fan fiction.
Why not?
Because most of the time, any kind of writing, usually, it has to really grab me for me to finish reading it. But yeah, anyway, yeah, this was good. This was, you know, we don't really do ratings here, but I guess I would recommend it. I would say the caveat of you have to kind of know the world of Batman and stuff like that. You know, like, you have to, wouldn't you agree, you have to kind of know his world at least a little bit in order to at least somewhat appreciate this?
I think you have to understand the dynamic of the, like, I'm going to call them the Bat siblings, even though they're not actually related.
And even though, like, I do kind of agree with you to an extent that, like, it was a little out of character, but if he is just a cold-blooded murderer and he'd been behind a bunch of murders in the city, then I kind of get that to an extent. Like I understand. It's like two brothers fighting, basically.
I have two brothers, and I they wouldn't say that to each other.
But I do agree that, like, in the comics, it's much more of a guilt thing, but also, like, he's a full-blown villain, so, like, logically, in this thing, so logically, like, Dick Grayson would be like, well, I have to take you down because you're doing terrible things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also complaint that, I'm surprised you didn't complain about this. He had no butt.
I can't.
He was wearing, like, biker jeans and stuff, so I just saw him, like, first complaint, no butt, because he was riding a motorcycle.
I mean,
I thought that would be part of your criteria, because
I'm used to it these days. Men who should have butts not having butts.
You always complain, you're funny, you always complain about, when Nightwing doesn't, though, remember?
Listen. Nightwing is DC's sexual object.
I feel like that's a
character.
recent thing, though.
And
this was like 11 years ago.
Look at in the 80s, too.
But it didn't become a thing that, like, fandom noticed and, like, called out, or they didn't start highlighting it, you know what I mean? Until, like, later on.
I mean, maybe.
Like, DC didn't start leaning into it until later on of being like, yeah, we noticed, too. Like, that kind of thing. That became, like, maybe it's around this time, I don't know. They had different things. I don't think they were, like, oh, Nightwing should do some squats in this fan film. I think they were more concerned with, does everything look cool? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was mostly just a joke, though. Like, I don't care. The suit looked cool.
You're kind of right, though. I feel like it is just a lot of spandex, and there isn't a lot of, like, padding or anything.
Yeah, because, like, that's the thing, like, and I get it to an extent, but, like, Batman's armored up. Nightwing is just kind of like, whatever. But you get what I mean? Like, the whole thing of that, like, it's like, I kind of agree with what they said. It's like, I've never really thought about that before. It's not something that occurred to me, but I'm like, yeah, he's an acrobat. He would want to wear, like, lightweight material, maybe even lightweight armor, but not this bulked up. And I'm not necessarily saying this one is super bulked up, but, like, I have seen ones where it's just, like, heavy armor, and I'm like, if that was any other member of the Bat family, I'd be chill with it. But, like, now that someone else pointed that out, I kind of definitely agree with them. I'm like, that's a great point. But, yeah, anyway, this was a good fan film. Maybe not as good as I remember it being when I was younger. Also, keep in mind I was in high school, and, like, there wasn't really stuff like that out back then, like I kind of said earlier. And this is before I discovered, like, Batman City of Scars and, like, other stuff like that. So this was, like, kind of a first fan film I discovered, and YouTube was kind of like this big wild landscape like I kind of mentioned earlier. But yeah, did you have anything else?
It was okay. It was like not bad to watch. Like, I would watch it again if you really wanted to.
Yeah, we had to watch it again just to make sure the movie ended like we thought it did. But yeah, good stuff. I guess this has been Night of the Batman. This is kind of like a fun throwaway episode. Let us know if you want us to do any more fan films in the future, or we might just do some just for fun, just because they're usually pretty short. There are some that are longer than they need to be, but yeah. So I'm Alex.
I'm his wife, Amanda.
And we will come up with the catchphrase eventually.